And the little rock wallaby, he's got the same toenail as a kangaroo, but if he's just sitting up feeding and eating, he's got a real thick padded foot and his toenail doesn't touch the ground. So a lot of times if he's just sitting around eating, it doesn't appear to have a toenail, and that's how they carved them. Now, there's two Dreamtime stories of the rainbow serpent. One, they believe, where he created all the billabongs and creeks. The other is the spiritual one, in the heavens, the Milky Way, which is about 40 feet long down there. And they're thinking now this is a part of it. And on that next rock, and all those little dots, holes, they're all stars along the Milky Way. And when we get along a little bit further, I'll show you a lot of big holes. And for years, a lot of people thought it was where they were sharpening spears and sticks in, but it's not. Each and every one of them has turned out to be star pattern. The Milky Way, the Southern Cross, everything's up there. Big ones are big bright stars. And the other thing which is intriguing is Jeannie White Eagle, I was telling you about, she had two photos taken in the Rocky Mountains. One of them was these things, 70 years ago by scientists. Same as that, we had her photos here. And 18 inches below them in the Rocky Mountains, it's a pair of these. I've got a 9-inch handspan, there's 18 inches. And they're exactly the same. We've got 3 sets of them along this wall, and they're found in the Rocky Mountains.
So what do they represent?
They don't know, and the Aboriginals don't know, and the scientists don't know. But it's strange that they're over there and they're here.
Oh, no.
And there's a symbol down there, I'll show you when we get down the other end. It looks a bit like a cactus. And her photo was taken on black rock in a cave in New Mexico. And we stuck her photo beside that one down there, and it's identical. Carvings, there's a lot of strange animal tracks. I'll show you. There's like these big long ones with a little deep heel and a spur toe. There's a little tiny pair in there. When you get up here close, there's a lot of dingo tracks. There's a really good one here. Have a look at this for track. That's really good carved. Yeah. And there's a child's footprint. And this is all carved. There's dingo tracks here, another footprint up there. If you stand around close this way, have a look at this one. We tell everybody Thorpe's been here. There's the heel, there's the big toe. The bloody big foot. That's a carving, though. It's not sort of a print. And you've got dingo tracks carved in everywhere. See, in there. They're everywhere. There's another dog track there. There's some good stuff in there. This is a big rock that's been carved. Have a look at this one. There's the heel, there's the big toe. And this thing carved up here, there's one in a big Aboriginal book done by some archaeologists and that, with this thing in it, but it's not this one, it's one in the Kimberleys. There's only 2 found, one in the Kimberleys and this one, and the difference between this one and the Kimberleys, this thing is pecked in there, comes off there. But those gaps there is open, the position is in, the same amount of lines across, everything's identical, and this one's dated at 4,000 years and so is the one in the Kimberleys.
What's that, 4,000 years?
4,000, yeah. But we're going to lose this one because about 3 years ago that crack finished there. See, it's gone right across, and they're only layers, see, on the sandstone. There's a pair of rock wallabies, no toenail. Yeah. And everything's in pairs. This is just the start of it. There's nothing like till we get down a bit. And you get along here a bit. See, there's some incredible big tracks. Look at a big pair of them in there. All that there. Now, all this stone going, that ridge that runs right across there, getting away from the Aboriginal side of it, they've taken samples and that and stone and stuff from there. That's been guaranteed now as the bed of an ancient river. All that is water washed river gravel, and you see all the gravel down there further, it gets along. Now, they're telling us that lava flow along the top was laid out somewhere around 100 million years ago. Here's a bloody riverbed that's 30 feet below it. So how old are they? And then another part of the Milky Way going through here. Now, another thing with the ancient Aboriginals, they couldn't keep track of a lot of numbers. They were pretty familiar with things up to 5. Once it got beyond 5, it became many. Like 8 and 9 was the same. If they had to describe 8 or 9 kangaroos or 300 kangaroos, it was many kangaroos. 7 or 8 was exactly the same as 100, it was many. But up to 5, and 5 was a fairly significant thing in their culture and everything. For some unknown reason, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. You got 5 there, you got 5 there, and you got 5 here. Now these here are big bright stars. These are a little bit smaller, but they're the millions of little stars in the Milky Way going through. And the old Robert was going to spend, an old Jeannie White Eagle, I reckon he was probably on the right track. He was going to come and spend 3 or 4 months here. because a lot of the star patterns, I'll show you the Southern Cross down here, it's clear as mud. And he reckons a lot of it, if he camped along it, may be able to fathom it out with different stars and all the rest of it. But the other strange thing about it, I've been over all this country, and sandstone walls and like this everywhere, paintings everywhere, but this is the only wall in the entire area that's carved, and it is the only wall that's facing due east. Whether that's got something to do with it too? There's heaps of walls where they could have done a look this carving, but it's not touched. But this is the only one. We've been up in choppers and everything like that. This is the only one that is facing into the due east, and it's the only one that's carved. Whether that's got something to do with the side of it or what, we don't know.
Droppings are they?
Huh?
They're kangaroo droppings there, are they?
Yeah.